Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Happy Tuesday afternoon to you. I don't know why I forgot it was Tuesday afternoon since I do this every Tuesday afternoon. I'm a little bit behind today, but I'm just about to share the postcard of the week here. Let me just get that image sent to my computer. Okay, this is a pretty cool one. This is a Georgia postcard, not super old. I've got more Georgia cards I should share as the postcard of the week. I have plenty of Georgia cards. Okay, sending it to my computer. It's like 4 different steps to get the postcard of the week here, so bear with me. Let's see, create new image. Image file. Downloads. Okay, there it is. Okay, now I just gotta resize it. It's very large. Nancy's in the chat. She says hello, hello. Welcome in, Nancy. And yeah, I don't know why it doesn't automatically size the image to the size of the screen, but that would be nice if it would do that. Lise says hello from San Antonio. Welcome in, Lise. Are you a fan of the Spurs at all? I've been watching their games against the Thunder. I watched their games against the Timberwolves too, but a series with the Thunder is more interesting, it looks like. I think they go back to Oklahoma City tonight, though. So we'll see if they can win there. Okay, let me... Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Okay, gonna hide video. Okay, there we go. In the chat. Okay. Okay, and I will center this image. Okay, there we go. Okay, here's the postcard of the week. Thank you for patiently waiting. This is the Thomas Cottages and Truckers Home, south of Dalton, Georgia. So actually, I think that would still be, I don't think there's really any town south of Dalton, but let me see on a map. We drove through Dalton all the time when we lived in Tennessee, and we would drive down to visit family because Interstate 75 takes you from Nashville basically to Atlanta, and then from there we would just go off 316 to Athens. So we would go through Dalton quite frequently. Thankfully, I haven't had to make that drive in a while. It was not a fun drive because dealing with Atlanta traffic and Chattanooga traffic is not fun. Not something I would want to do if I could help it. But yeah, I just picked this one up. I have a saved search on eBay for Georgia real photo postcards, and this is one that came up in my search. And I really like the image, so I bought it. I really like the trucks here. They're bib trucks. I'm trying to read what it says under bib. I think it says something like textiles. The first name in textiles is what it says under bib. Dalton is, or was, I don't know if they still do manufacture a lot of carpet, but they were known for that. So I would assume that's what the bib trucks are for, maybe carpet, stuff like that. But Dalton, here, I was looking up to see if there is a town 4 miles south. I don't think so. Okay. Well, it's kind of near, why does this map? Okay. No, yeah, there's no town. Sorry, I didn't see a scale on this map at first, but 4 miles south of Dalton, Georgia is just the middle of nowhere on Interstate 75, which is where this truck stop was. But yeah, it would have been maybe 100 miles north of Atlanta, between 75 and 100 miles north of Atlanta, I think. And let me see if this bib company is still around. Bib, the first name in textiles. Let me see. Bib textiles. I'll just search Georgia. Bib manufacturing company, an important part of Georgia's cotton and textile industry. Okay. Yeah, it's founded in Macon. They produce cotton products such as sheets, comforters, towels, curtains, and bedspreads. Okay. It was sold in 1998, but it looks like it is still around, I guess. Let me see. No, it's closed. Sorry. It was sold in 1998 and then they shut it down, I guess. So it operated from 1876 to 1998. Quite a lifetime for the company. But yeah, that's the postcard of the week. I think it's a really cool one here with a truck stop, the little gas station, the old gas station, the trucker standing out there. Uh, Really cool card. It's a Klein real photo too. So I was really happy to add that one to my collection recently. Let me get everything back. Okay, there we go. Okay, switching back was actually easier because I just, instead of what I had done before when I put the postcard of the week on the screen was I like dragged everything off the screen, but you can use a button to hide things. So that's what I did is just I hid everything, and that was much easier than removing, like dragging everything off the screen. Lee said not into sports, but there are a lot of Spurs fans here. Yeah, it's funny. I was not. I've gone through phases. I'm definitely a fair weather sports fan. When I was a kid, I was really into sports, particularly baseball and football. And then in college, I wasn't really that interested in many sports. And for a few years after college, and then the last few years, I've gotten back into sports a lot. So I've always kind of been into football because I've been in fantasy football leagues, and that kind of makes you watch the games and cheer for your players to do good. But basketball, definitely a fair weather fan. I don't watch the regular season at all, only the playoffs. In the regular season, I don't know. It's just not a good product, in my opinion. Some games are good, like the Christmas games where they have good matchups and the players actually try. But for a lot of the regular season, the games seem like they're kind of meaningless. So I just watched the NBA playoffs. But yeah, it's been a fun uh, playoff season. My favorite NBA team is probably the Cavaliers, which has been doing terrible. Well, they just got swept by the Knicks. They were doing all right before that, but yeah, that was hard to watch their game yesterday, and really all the games of this series. Nancy said, "Did you trademark or is it copyright the name Mailseum? I need to change my store name." No, it is not, but from my understanding, how copyright and trademark rules work, law works, is if you haven't like officially filed and registered for a trademark, you can still defend your mark by showing and proving that you were the first one to be using it. So, fortunately, I haven't had anyone try to impersonate Mailseum. There's not really any monetary interest to be gained, in my opinion. There's just a lot of postcard stores out there with different names. So I don't think somebody would have much to gain from impersonating Mailseum. But if someone did come along and made a website called Mailseum or whatever and tried to take that copyright, all I would have to do, from my understanding, is prove that I was using it like way before they were, and I can easily do that. I have a ton of documents going back to, I think it was 2022 when I changed the name to Mailseum. So yeah, I think it might be, I don't know how easy it is to get a copyright. Maybe it's something worth looking into, but I don't think there's really any need to. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows differently. But yeah, it might be a hassle to get another store taken down if they try to rip you off. But I don't know. I think it would be pretty straightforward if I had to go to like the court and show them, yeah, this is the document where, I changed my website name, and this is when I changed my eBay name, and this store here, you can see it came up in 4 years after, so they're infringing upon my mark. I think that would be pretty easy to do. Lee said, I was into baseball as a kid, Minnesota Twins, and football, but never into basketball. And when we moved overseas for 9 years, I totally lost the plot on sports in general. Yeah, that happens, or at least it has happened to me, that I go in and out of interest in sports. I was always really interested in basketball. Well, sports, I didn't play basketball or football in any organized way, but we had like a basketball hoop at our house and at my grandma's house, so I was playing basketball a lot, and at school, like in gym class, we'd play basketball a lot. So I always really liked playing basketball and football, not organized. And then baseball, I played it organized, and it was always really fun too. So I kind of just like the sports that I would play. But yeah, I get that. Vintage 649 said you said it's a Klein card. What tells you that? Let me bring it up again. Okay. Ooh, fancy. So if you see here on this card, okay, I need to move myself over a little bit. The font tells me that's a Klein card. Also on the back of this one, I think it may have said it, but the handwriting style, I don't know if that's, I'm sure it's handwritten actually. I don't know why I was going to say that's like a font. The handwriting style is very distinctive, and that's one way to identify it. Also, the numbering system at the bottom right, you can see it's one, I can't remember if it's a number first or a letter first. It's either 1 or I-U-324. They always use that format, like something dash something dash 3 numbers, I think. So yeah, either the style of the font on the front or that number in the bottom right corner on the front. And also, if it's a Southern postcard, it's much more likely to be Klein. So this was a Georgia one, and there weren't really a lot of other photographers that were producing RPPCs of Southern states around this time period. There were some, but Klein was by far the most prolific for states like Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, even out into Texas. I found Klein real photos from a ton of different states, though, so he wasn't restricted to the South. He just probably produced the most real photo postcards from the South. Let me know if you have any questions about that. But once you see a lot of them, they're not hard to identify. There are collectors that collect Klein real photo postcards, but there are also a lot of collectors that just like postcards from towns they're familiar with or states they like. I mean, I'm not a Klein collector. I just picked up that card because I like Georgia real photos, and I like trucks on postcards, so that was kind of a crossover, and gas stations. So it was kind of a crossover of 3 of my interests, and I got it for, I think, $20. So, yeah, that was a no-brainer for me to pick up. But a lot of your Klein postcards will sell to people that collect a town or a state, not necessarily people that collect Klein real photo postcards. But yeah, he was very prolific. He produced, I think, thousands of real photo postcards, thousands of unique real photo postcards throughout I want to say he started in the 30s and went through the 50s or 60s. Lee said, I love to find sports postcards, though. Yeah, I have a few in my collection. I need to look for some more baseball stadiums. That was one thing that I started collecting early on. I got a collection of a few baseball stadiums, and then I kind of grew tired of them, and then I sold them, and then I regretted it, and then I bought them back. But I think baseball stadiums on postcards are really cool, especially the early ones. The only downside is they can go for or it's a good thing as a collector, but they can go for a lot of money, the baseball stadium ones. But yeah, all the sports ones do pretty well. A lawyer friend of mine told me I could file the paperwork online myself. I tried. If I tried, I could not figure out which form. Lawyer friend is not an IP lawyer. He said I should ask one. Too much money for my small store. Any suggestions? Anyone know which form? I have no idea. It just seems like more to me. I mean, everybody can have a different opinion, but to me it seems like more trouble than it's worth, just because I don't think anybody out there would be I mean, I think the name Museum is pretty cool. I like the name, but I don't think there's a lot of value in trying to rip me off, so I don't think it's likely it would happen. But if it did happen, I think it would be pretty easy for me to prove that I'm the one who owns the name Museum, and to get whoever was using it to stop using it. And there's different levels of like law stuff you could do. Like if somebody starts using your name you could just send them a strongly worded letter that sounds lawyery, and they might stop there, or you might have to actually like take them to court or whatever. Hopefully, I never have to deal with any of that. But yeah, I just don't think there's really any incentive to using my name, Mailseum. But I mean, with other things, there's definitely a lot of monetary gain on the table with other IP and names and stuff like that. So I know, or I understand why companies would do it. I just think for like a postcard store, there's so many different postcard stores on eBay, and there's no reason why anybody would want to take your name and impersonate you. Even the big sellers on eBay don't have a problem. At least I've never seen a problem with anyone impersonating them. Like, I don't think Mariel Martin has ever had an impersonator or the postcard dude or anybody like that, because I don't know, there's just not really anything to gain in my view. So I wouldn't worry about it, but yeah, unfortunately I can't tell you where to find the form or anything. There's an eBay store that only sells stadium postcards. Yeah, I think I've come across them before. Let me see if I can find that. Stadium postcards, eBay. Now that, I would say, is something you probably can't trademark, but that is a good name. Like the eBay store, their username is Stadium Postcards. I don't know. I think that's because I just searched Stadium Postcards eBay, and the first thing that came up was their eBay store. But I could imagine a lot of other people, I mean, maybe not a ton, but I can imagine other people just Googling like baseball stadium postcards on eBay, and then their store is the first link they get. So I think that's a smart name. But I don't know if that would be something. I would think it'd be too generic for you to trademark, but yeah, I have no idea. I'm just looking at their postcards now, though. Let me see. Sort by highest price. And I was going to, let me see if I can get this set up. I was going to do some live listing today, if nobody's opposed to that. I have about 60 or 70 postcards left to price. I already titled them and priced some of them, but I have some pretty cool ones today, so I thought it might be interesting. Here, let me show this, the store here, if I can figure out how to show everything again. And that image is just going to be gone. Let me send myself to the back. Okay, video capture. Order, move to bottom. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the Stadium Postcard store. They sell lots, it looks like. A lot of 175, a lot of 100. So two different lots, I guess. Those look like the same picture, though. So maybe they just have like a large quantity of these, and they just know that they can have enough to sell them. Or are you getting these exact cards? I don't know. But, I mean, they're a special offer. Rare opportunity. Normally I list single postcards, blah, blah, blah. For the first time ever. An incredible value. I mean, I assume if they're listing it as a lot, there's not much value there for something to resell. But yeah, if you collect stadium postcards, that might be a pretty good deal. I just sorted from highest price to lowest price just to see some cool ones. $100 for that card. That's interesting. I would assume they know more about stadium postcards than me, so keep an eye out for that one. Colt 45s. What is that? Was that the old name of the Astros? Were they the Colt 45s? Never heard of the Colt 45s. Did that open in the oh yeah, it did. Okay. Just making sure it opened in the new tab when I clicked on it. Cleveland. I have a Cleveland Stadium postcard, but it's a different one. That seems a little overpriced to me, but again, I'm sure they know the market better than I do. This one's a cool card. White Sox Ballpark, Chicago. I like the early ones a lot. $70. They have a lot of chrome and continental chrome, which even for stadium postcards, chrome and continental chrome sell really well, I have found. Kansas City Chiefs one. No watchers on that one, and they scanned it in a sleeve, which is interesting. They scanned it in a top loader, actually. So $50 on that one. Ultra scarce. I would not be able to identify these as ultra scarce. or rare. Like, to me, I would definitely list this one, but I would not know that it would be better than like other similar postcards. Okay, New York Giants. Yeah, that's a. I don't know. You could say maybe they put a tarp on the field, but that printing error there would bother me. I would try to look for one without that. Hopefully, there were versions made without that printing error. Cubs spring training. So they don't have like a lot of higher end older postcards. They just have looks like a lot of chrome and continental size, jumbo size right there. But yeah, that's an interesting store. I don't know if I've bought from them before, but I have bought a few stadium postcards on eBay. But yeah, I'll pull up my listing here. Let me hide it for a second so I can get the right screen pulled up. Let's see. But I'll do some live listing here. Oh, I meant to hide that. Sorry, there we go. That was like an infinite loop there for a second. Sorry if the audio was going crazy for a minute. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this live listing. Because I've done it once before with OBS. But it's not going to be like a difficult thing to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to get like all my windows arranged so I can see everything and you can see everything. Okay. I think what I'm going to have to do is just not really look at OBS, which is fine. Okay. And let me change that to create listings. Okay. Okay. Let me show that. Okay. And then I'll put myself in the bottom right corner. Send that to the back. Okay, thanks everybody for bearing with me. I do have some really cool postcards to list today, so I think it will be worth it. That's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try to put myself down here in the corner. I don't need to be big. I am going to try to show... Okay, that should work. And then I need the window of my postcards, which I will share now. Let's see, how do I do that? Plus, I can share a no. Image, no. Media, no. Browser? No, that doesn't work. Let's see. URL? No. God. Local file? No. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay. Cancel. Okay, sorry everyone. I just accidentally added the wrong thing. I'm trying to add a view of this folder where I have all the postcards. Maybe I can add... Oh, screen capture. Duh. Screen capture 2. Okay. And then I will do window capture, and I will add the window where I have all of my postcards to list. I'll have to resize that, but that's no big deal. Okay, thank you for bearing with me and for your patience. Promise this will be worth it. Okay, so I will put myself at the bottom right. I'll put the postcard I'm working on at the top-ish right, and then you should be able to see enough of the other stuff. Okay. Lee said, that's interesting. I have quite a few stadium postcards that I haven't listed yet. I'm surprised they can make a whole store out of them, though. Yeah, I don't know if they make like a full-time income, but yeah, you could make a full store out of stadium postcards for sure. There's a lot of buyers out there for stadium postcards, but you could do it for, I mean, anything really. You could do it for Georgia postcards. It's just, I don't know how much money they're making off of it. I assume all right money, but Nancy said I had someone use my name with something else, reversed the words on Instagram, then used my name on other platforms. She really liked the name. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I would just tell them, I don't know how you handled that. I would probably just try messaging them first and being like, hey, this is my name, just change it, or I'm going to have to send you a letter, or get the law involved or something. I don't know. Fortunately, never had that happen. Okay, here we go with some live listing. Got all my windows pulled up. And I won't have my video software up during this time, so I will be able to see the YouTube chat. So just let me know if there is something going on with the video or the audio, so I can go back to fix it. But this should work. This should work. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep an eye on it for a minute here. Okay, so you can see here I've got like 68 or so postcards left to list today. And how I do it is I have my tabs here on the left of listing, and then I search for them on eBay first, and then oh, that expanded there. That's funny. I'm just distracted by looking at the other screen. Okay, so this postcard, yeah, looks like there's a lot up, starting at $1.95, so that's going to be what this one gets priced at. Not all the postcards I picked to list are winners, but enough of them are. And this is a cool one of a bridge. I mean, it's not that cool. It's a bridge in Louisiana. And I guess I'll search for the exact one. I don't always do that. Cane River Lake. So I think this postcard just has a, yeah, RHER. That's a mistype or a misspelling. So I'll just change that. So there are some up of this same bridge, but no real photos like mine. So I'm just going to do this, and this is what I'll take over to search in product research, which I already have up. Okay, yeah, so none sold in the last 3 years, and nothing on WorthPoint. So when that happens, I'll just look for RPPCs from the town and get a feel of what they're going for. Okay, only one. Okay, so that's a monument, Black Americana, and then that's not an RPPC. They just put it in the title somewhere in the item specifics. Okay, so even that nice Street View just sold for 21 bucks, 19.99, 22. It's probably gonna price it at 19.95. I'll just take a look at all sales for the town in the postcard category and see if there's any outliers or anything. Early Railroad Depot makes sense. I don't think mine's going to get close to that. And that's another early card. So yeah, 19.95 is going to be a good price for that one. Nassau Motor Lodge Motel, New Orleans. Somebody told me years ago that some New Orleans motel cards sold for really good money. And ever since then, I've kind of just put all of them to list, but I don't think I've ever once found one that sold for really good money. I don't think I've ever found one that sold for over like $10, but this one, there's two up, $4.99, $6.72. I'm probably going to do $4.95. Search here for good measure. Yeah, $3. I'm just going to be at $4.95. And I know I price my items knowing that eventually everything will go on sale for 25% off, and if it doesn't sell for 25% off, it'll go on sale for 50% off. So I'm okay with being maybe a little bit overpriced. And that, okay, that's annoying how it keeps doing that. This next one, sorry, I hadn't pulled up the image yet. This is a cool one of a church in West Beaver Creek, Maryland. Beaver Creek. But yeah, I've never heard of that town before. So I thought it could be a good one. It has a nice cancel from Beaver Creek too. And they say on the back we're at Beaver Creek, so pretty sure this image is from Beaver Creek, Pennsylvania, or Beaver Creek, Maryland too. So yeah, not really seeing anything currently for sale. There's a few. That's a cancel from 1915, and this is like that's Hagerstown. So yeah, nothing really from Beaver Creek. There's a lot of this, Beaver Creek near Hagerstown. So I guess it used to be a town, probably not a town anymore. Maybe a DPO, maybe not. But I did look up the post office when I was making the title, and the post office was around for quite a while. So I don't know if adding DPO would really add a bunch of value. Okay, here we go. So we have a Western Maryland. What is this? Looks like a train wreck. But it's a Western Maryland Billington Beaver Creek train, so I don't even know if it was in Beaver Creek. It says Parsons, West Virginia on the back, so I don't even think that is in Beaver Creek. I just think that was the train line. That one apparently sold for $125 according to Worth Point. Just not really seeing much from Beaver Creek, Maryland at all. So when that happens, I'll just Google Beaver Creek, Maryland, and I'll try to see what other towns are near there. I saw, yeah, southeast of Hagerstown. I know Hagerstown is not really a great seller, but Boonesboro. So now I'll just search for Hagerstown and Boonesboro and see if we've got any. I mean, I know what Hagerstown is like. I'll just search for Boonesboro. See if we have any comps for RPPCs from the area. So this one sold for $32. This is a printed card of the Railroad Depot, but that's Keedysville, which is, I don't know how far away that is. This is a real photo of Boonesboro, sold for $30. And this one sold for $20. It's just a printed card. So yeah, let's see. It's in the Hagerstown area, and just because I wasn't able to find any comps for West Beaver Creek, and I'll just go back to the actual image there. Nothing crazy, just a church. So I guess this is Hagerstown or Thurmont. Maybe Thurmont, West Virginia? Or is it Thurman, West Virginia? And Thurmont, Maryland. Okay. Hagerstown and Frederick Railway. Okay. From the Great Hagerstown Fair, I mean, that one sold for $80. 2023. This nice one sold. I might have been the one that sold this one. That might have been my card, actually. $79.95. That definitely is how I structure my titles, and I think I remember selling that card. So I'm thinking maybe $50, but there's really nothing out there from Beaver Creek, Maryland. So I think it could sell quickly. It could possibly go for a bit more than 50, but yeah, it's fairly close to Hagerstown, just southeast of Hagerstown. Mount Etna, Jugtown. Maybe I'll just search Jugtown, see if I can find anything. I don't really think I am going to. Who knows how long those towns have been around. What else do we have? San Mar, Maryland. It's just a little bit more difficult. There's a few things from San Mar, Maryland, nothing crazy. It's just kind of difficult to price a card where you don't know a ton about what it could sell for. Boonesboro, that was the town I searched for. That looks like the only really notable town in the area. Robinwood, I'll try searching for Robinwood. And I don't know if I searched Boonesboro on Worth Point or just on product research. Boonesboro, let's search RPPC, see if we get anything. Yeah, based on the area, I think $50, if I can get $50, it'd be a fairly good price. So I'm just going to put that one at $50. It's not an incredible image by any means, but it really is one of the few RPPCs probably out there from, what is this town again? West Beaver Creek. So maybe somebody will be willing to pay $50 for it. Whoops. Okay, that is so annoying. My stupid toolbar for Mac just keeps switching what browser it's in. Okay, this next one's a pretty neat one too. It's more modern card, but it's a cool ice cream one. Wheels, Wiles, whatever, Creations, Ice Cream Extravaganza. This is Langley Park, Maryland. I also have not really heard of that town. So I'll just search Wheelies Creations Ice Cream. See if we get anything. Okay. Well, 2 bids at $625, but one is for sale for $639. So I don't know why you would bid higher than that. No, I guess I'll price mine at $595. I'll just see if any have sold for it, because there's only 2 listed. Okay, so they have sold for up to $10. I could probably price mine at $9.95. Yeah, I'll just price mine at $9.95, and then it may take a little bit longer to sell, but again, I'm fine with that since I do the automatic discounts. This is the Hotel Del Marva, Baltimore Avenue, Ocean City, Maryland. And I'll go back to the catch up on the chat here in a minute if there have been any other chats. And I just put Del Marva in there too because if you put spaces between words, it doesn't always show in the search results if people type it as one word. So just covering my bases there. It looks like I'm gonna be pricing this one around $5.95. We'll see what they sold for though. I like the really old cars front and center. Yeah, $3.95 and $5, so $5.95 isn't too crazy. And this is a nicer RPPC from the 30s or so. There is a bread delivery truck on there, which I put in my title. Those are always cool. In Pelican Rapids, I think I've seen a few postcards from Pelican Rapids, but assuming it's a smaller town. Nothing currently listed. Okay. Okay, somebody sold a different view of a street scene in Pelican Rapids for 30. Sold this one for 20. So let's see. I'm thinking probably $39.95 because mine does have the bread truck there, which I think is neat, and the old cars. It's a pretty cool view. This one sold for 43 last year. I think $39.95 is going to be what I'm going with. And I don't really need to check worth point on that one. But yeah, I don't see that image up, so that will maybe help me get what I'm asking for. I'll just search just to see if I can. Yeah, that's actually my image right there. Sold for $46.51, $39.99. That doesn't really change anything for me. I'm still going to price it at $39.95, but good to be reconfirmed by WorthPoint that my thinking isn't crazy. And this one, I don't know how this one, I have really no idea how this one's going to comp out. It could be a really common card. It could sell for under $5, or it could be a less common one and could go for $20 plus. But it's the ferry from Natchez, Mississippi. Don't know if I pronounced that right. To Vidalia, Louisiana. So I'm just going to search ferry Natchez, Mississippi. And I do still have, oh, whoops, goodness gracious. Sorry, every time I swipe to the left or the right. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be a more common card, I think. At least one's up for $5.99. That's another one up for $7.25. So I don't think this one's, I'm probably just going to price this at $5.95. I'll just double check product research. Yeah, that's my same card. Sold for $9.38 last year, so maybe I could get a few extra bucks, but I'm just going to do it at $5.95. Here, let me go back to the chat real quick. Okay. Lee said, I have pretty lousy luck with New Orleans, saturated market, I think. Yeah, for a little while, I had a buyer that would come in. They haven't bought from me in a minute, but they would buy a lot of New Orleans cards from me all at once, and that was really nice. But New Orleans, I would say one reason why we usually have bad luck with New Orleans is the depopulation of the town, and it's lost, since Katrina especially, it's just lost so many residents that there's just not a lot of people there to collect postcards anymore. Or there's, I don't know, there's something about the supply and demand. Like early 1900s, they were making a ton of New Orleans postcards. It was one of the biggest cities in the United States. And now it's not, it's like a regionally large city, but definitely not one of the biggest cities in the U.S. So towns like that, St. Louis is another one, was one of the biggest cities in the U.S. Now it's like a regionally large city, not a crazy large city. Towns like that, I think, usually have less valuable postcards because they were producing a lot of them, and then there's not as many people that live there anymore. Or that's my theory, at least. You're using eBay bulk lister. How did you get them started in the list? I have a video showing it. Let me try to find it. It's so hard to find some of my videos sometimes because I I just have a lot of videos that I have done over time, and I like know I've done a video of something, but I don't know exactly like what I would have called it. Uh, I think it's something like how to list. On my phone, it's not letting me search my channel. Let's see. Man, it's hard to find a specific video, isn't it? I can show you how though, real quick. It's really easy. It's not complicated. I'll just show you now. Not Chaz, not Chaz, Nat Chaz, Nat Chaz, Nat Chaz, Nat Chaz, Nat Chaz. Here, let me go back to that screen and show you. And let's see. Okay, so I'll save these and we will go back to them in a second. Whoops, God, the stupid, what is this thing on Mac called? Like the toolbar, the taskbar? It keeps going to my other screen and it's really annoying. I wish I could lock it on my left screen. There's probably a way to do that, but okay. Yeah, I just use eBay's bulk lister, though I know some sellers use other tools to list. I just use the eBay one. It works plenty good enough for me, and it's built into eBay, so don't have to pay anything extra for it. But to do listings like this, I just go to sell and then create listing. I don't know if you can get there a different way to do it. Sell, create listing, and then I do photo upload, and then I do 2, because all my listings have 2 pictures, and I will not actually, I'm just uploading a few pictures just to show you what it looks like, but I will not save these listings. So that's what it does. I usually upload 200 photos at a time. It doesn't even really take that long. Then generate drafts from those listings. And then after I have my 100 listings up, I'll bulk edit them and fill in things like I'll turn offers off. I'll fill in my shipping policy. I change the category to make sure they're all in the postcard category. Usually just put them all in topographical. And if I have like a Halloween one, I'll just change that particular one. Change condition to used. Item description I just have some boilerplate thing where it's like a brief description of how my shipping policy works and stuff like that. Item specifics, the only one I add these days is country of origin. I changed to United States. Item location, and after I set all of those, what I will do is change the, where's the SKU? There's usually a SKU field here. Where the heck is it? Custom label. So it's not letting me fill it in. That's why it looks a little weird. It's not letting me fill in the custom label because it doesn't have the category yet. But once it does, I just fill in the custom label for my 100 listings. And then after I do all of that, my listings just need titles and prices. So I will hit save for later on those 100 listings, but I don't need to save these. So I'm just going to do don't save and go back to my other drafts. So once I have those 100 saved, I'll just go in and resume. The reason why I save them all before adding titles is because if you have a bunch of drafts created and something happens, like if I was on that page, if I had just done create from photos and I was currently on this page and something happened and they got my computer crashed or whatever, or eBay crashed and said there was an error loading this page, all of those would be gone. But by hitting save drafts once, all 100 of these are going to be saved individually as listing drafts, and they will save one by one when you change anything to them. It doesn't do that at first when you upload them from photos, it treats them all as like they're all the same or whatever. I don't know why it does that, but they're not all saved until you do save for later the first time. So make sure you do that early on in the process. I always do it when I just add all these things and put all the custom labels, and then I hit save before I do all the titles. But that's pretty much it. It's not too difficult. Okay, moving on. This next one is, I think, a tornado. I don't know. It would really have to be a tornado, right? But it's in Nevada, or it was Nevada, Missouri. So I'm just going to search tornado, Nevada, Missouri. I do have another tornado. Oh, whoops, not just tornado. I do have another tornado goodness gracious, I can't talk. I have another tornado RPPC that I'll be listing later on. I don't know for sure if it was a tornado, but where is Nevada, Missouri? It wouldn't have been an earthquake, I wouldn't think. I'm just seeing if it's near a river or something where it could have been a flood. No, not really. There's a few. Well, that is a river right there. So I guess it could have been a flood of whatever this river is on the outskirts of town, but I think it's probably a tornado. Let's just search for RPPCs from Nevada, Missouri. And I know it's Nevada, Missouri because the collector wrote it's Nevada, Missouri, and it was filed with their Nevada, Missouri, and they got it in 1976, it looks like. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing that's not Nevada. This is Nevada, Missouri. This is a flood. So, I mean, it could be a flood, but looks more like tornado damage, and I don't see any water, so it's a pretty good indicator. Probably going to do 20 bucks on this, but just see if there's anything on Worth Point. Okay, 60 bucks, but that's a pretty old one. Eldorado Spring. Okay, 49. 39.99. Yeah, I don't think, and from my experience, tornado damage real photos don't really have a huge amount of demand, so I'm just going to do $19.95 on that, and hopefully I'll get that price. This next one's pretty cool too. It's an earlier roadside card of a cafe and tourist camp in a small Montana town. Oh, Cyclone? Okay, I'll go search that. Yeah, nothing coming up for this event, but based on the other RPPCs, I think $19.95 is a pretty fair price for that one. Yeah, this one, not seeing anything. Billy's Cafe Tourist Camp. Alberton, Montana. Just take out that. Maybe they only put cafe. Okay, let's go over to the Worth Point. And $12 from 2019. Now I'm just going to search Alberton, Montana to get some more recent comps. I'm thinking like 20 bucks unless I see anything crazy here. That's early. Those aren't really good comps for me. Okay. Well, this is a fairly decent comp. That's a real photo of my tourist camp, or its tourist park on here. 2 views sold for 30 bucks. Those are real photos though. This one sold for 15. I'm going to try to get 20. It might be priced a little bit too high, but I think it's a really neat card, so that's why I'm going to price a little bit higher, and my price is automatically reduced over time, so I don't really have to worry about that. This is a cool street view in a small Nevada town, Columbia Street, Goldfield, Nevada. Okay, that's not circa 1920s. That is circa 40s at the earliest. Actually 50s at the earliest, because it's a Kodak paper, but I don't know why. They have hundreds of thousands of cards listed. I don't know why they can't tell what date a card was listed by now. That's probably not 1912 either. It might be a view from 1912, but it's definitely, the card is from the 50s or later. So, and so all I see is really, that's a cool one though. That's an man, I'm kind of surprised that one isn't sold at 14.99. That, and I don't know a ton about the town yet, but I think that sounds like a pretty good price for that card. Let's see if I can find some older cards. Okay, so this one sold for 20. I mean, mine's pretty similar to that one. It's probably gonna price mine around 20, but this one just sold for 8, and that's the same as mine. That one sold for 8 last year, and this one sold for 20 in 2023. So, and this is another. That's my same one too. Only sold for 550. So maybe I'll just go closer to 10. But these old Nevada towns, I thought they would sell for more money. Okay. See, I don't think my card is really uncommon. And sold between 5 and 8 the last couple years, so maybe I'll do $9.95. Those are RPPCs. I'll search on Worth Point, see if I found anything. If not, I'm just gonna do $9.95. Yeah, I think these cards maybe. Okay, there's mine, sold for $13.28, $11.39, $8.99, $5.50. I'm just going to do $9.95. I think that's about what the market is at right now. I'm surprised that gambling one that's up for $14.99 hasn't sold though. That's a really cool card. And this is another one from the same town. It's Gold Mine, so maybe this one will do a little better. Okay, or not. No, I guess this publisher, I knew they published a lot of cards, so if it was a less common view, they'd probably go for a little bit more, but they probably printed a lot of these cards is what I'm guessing. $8.99. Okay, and yeah, it looks like about $10 on this one too. That's fine. I got more cool cards from Nevada. Rancho Navalta Motel, Reno, Nevada. And you never know what things will comp out for. Because that, like for the Nevada cards I found, I would have thought like this motel one, I might end up pricing this one higher than the 2 older cards from Goldfield, Nevada. And I would not have thought that when I pulled them to list. I might not. $3.71 and $3. But there's only one listed for $30, so none have sold for over $5. Just look at all motels in Reno. And I'll see if this one has any watchers. 2 watchers at $30, so maybe they'd be interested at 20. Yeah, I'm gonna price mine at $20. It might be a little high, but I'm gonna go fishing. Oh, I thought this one was funny. It's Saul Sagav, pronounced Saul Sagi Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a relatively early Las Vegas card, 1933. But it's just Las Vegas spelled backwards. It took me a second. This card is not uncommon, it looks like. $8.95, $7.99. And those are the same as one is, yeah, $7.50, $9.99. So I'm probably going to do $5.95. But I'll just see what they've sold for. Managed by John Miller of Popeye's Postcards. Okay, yeah, so they sold for as high as $9, but that one sold for $5.35. That one sold for $5, and then average $5.81. So I think $5.95 is a fine price. And this one is another cool one that I don't think I've seen, even though it's not an early Las Vegas one. This one could be decent, $10 plus maybe. No. I might be able to get probably do $3.95. I'll see what they've sold for. And yeah, Las Vegas, I don't know as well as towns in Georgia, for example. So maybe I can get $4.95. So when I find a card like this from Las Vegas, like I know it's not going to be as good as an early card, but I think maybe I could get $10 to $15 for it if it's less common. But It is not. This one, again, could go either way. Could be less common, could be more common. It's the Sunset Traitel Trailer Park, Las Vegas, Nevada. Somebody could have stayed here when they were a kid. Now they're a boomer, and they want to remember their trip. Yeah, there's a map of it up for $13.50, but it just looks like an ad somebody cut out of the paper. So I don't think that's really a comp at all. Bell Postcards said better late than never, was here in spirit. Too much yard work, we'll watch from the start. No problem. And yeah, I had to do a little, well, not really yard work. I picked some veggies and berries earlier in the yard. Okay, so one sold for $4.20, one sold for $1.60. But those were both at fixed price. I think they could have got more. $9.97 and $5.60, maybe not. These are all the same as mine. What should I do? $9.95? Should I try for more? I mean, there's none currently up. Maybe I'll just go $14.95 and somebody will be looking for that one. Okay, another Las Vegas one that I thought was one that I hadn't seen before, but again, I don't know Las Vegas postcards like the back of my hand, so this one could be really common. Okay, Hotel Last Frontier. 586 results is not a promising start. Okay, I'm just trying to narrow this down. There we go. Okay, $6, $8, $6.49, $6, $4.99. So yeah, it's more common. And on to New Jersey. This is Alamac Country Club, like Hoppet Kong, Mount Arlington. Oh, Hopet Kong, however you say it, I don't know. I don't think Mount Arlington, New Jersey is a really great seller, but I thought this card was neat. Or I hadn't seen it before, at least. Okay, not seeing anything for it anywhere. So, let me just search for Alamac Country Club. Like Hoppet Kong. Nothing from this country club, or of this country club, that I can see. If there's something for this from this country club that is sold, I am not seeing it. So I'm just going to search. Whoops. I'm just going to search like Hopet Kong, Mount Arlington. Okay. That resort sold for $49. Got a $37.95. Those are RPBCs. That one sold for $25. I think maybe I can get 20 bucks out of this. I'm gonna try and get 20 bucks out of it. Whoops. Thought I fat fingered that. And I got some cool Route 66 cards to list too. Starting with this one, Texas and Court in Albuquerque. I just went over to the stream to see what it looks like. That I don't know why the image looks like that when it's bigger, but yeah, it looks like this one is going to be more common. I think that card's me. Yeah, $4.95 on sale for 25% off. I'm just going to do $3.95. I don't want to waste too much energy thinking about it. La Hacienda Motel. This one is also Route 66. And Central Avenue in Albuquerque is Route 66, so if you ever see any cards that say Central Avenue, this one might be one. Yeah. West Central, that's Route 66. La Hacienda. So there's one up for $9.95 and a lot of other irrelevant results. And one up for $12.99. Okay, those do not have any watchers. I might do $9.95. We'll see. Okay, that's a debut. Is this the same motel? No. Okay, I'm just going to do $9.95. And this is the Park Hotel in Socorro, New Mexico. If you can tell, the cards that I'm listing today were organized by state from the collector. I didn't organize them, but they're still in order, so. Okay, so here's the hotel. I think this is the postcard dude. I'm probably just going to do $5.95 then. So his has probably been up for a while, 40% off. No biters. But that is really the only other one besides the Mariel Martin one for $14.75. So maybe I'll go $9.95. We'll see if any have sold. Oh, one sold for $13. It's a little bit different though. I'll see if I can get $10 out of it. Mine will just eventually go on sale like the postcard dude probably, but I'll take a shot. Okay, cool one at Ebbets Field. I don't know. Again, I'm not the stadium postcard guy, so I don't know which ones are less common or more common of Ebbets Field, but a nice historic baseball park, so maybe this one will be less common. It is a linen card. This is the same card, or is it? Yeah, this is the same card. For $22. They have 2 watchers. Shipping is also $22. So maybe I'll be able to get $20. 35. That's the same card. Sorry, part of that's probably covered up by the image on the screen, just trust me. Okay, it looks like it's about $20 is what I could expect to get. I'll search product research though. Man, I wish I had that one. Okay. Wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Went ahead too quick. Okay, so it sold for as much as 35 a couple years ago, but it's also sold for 29, 20, 1999, 1999, 1995. So yeah, I think 1995 is going to be a sweet spot here. And then I have Yankee Stadium too. Again, don't know if this is one of the harder to find ones or not, but we'll find out together. Lee said you erase prices from the reverse of postcards. I normally don't. No, I don't ever erase prices from the back. Too much work. And in all the postcards I've sold, which I think eBay says is over like 30,000 now, only once has somebody ever brought up the price on the back of a postcard, and they just said something like, can I buy it for the price on the back? Because the price on the back was way cheaper than the price I had it up for. And they were like, can I just pay $3? That's what you paid for it. And I think I just ignored them. But this Yankee Stadium card looks more common. I don't erase it though. One person and over 30,000 orders says something. That's definitely not worth all the energy it takes to erase them. Plus, it's kind of cool if you're a collector to see the price it was sold for at one point. Okay, God, there's a lot of Yankee Stadium. But I saw them up for as low as $4, so just trying to see where my card starts. I'm just somebody pick a number between 4 and 6. No. I'm just gonna do, I don't know. I hate when there's a lot of images to look through. It's just excruciating to me. But okay, there's one up for 16, one up for 14. Do these have any watchers? Probably not. One watcher on the one at 14. That one is also the same as mine. I'm just going to do $9.95. It might take a little while to sell. It might get discounted, whatever. I don't want to look at cards at Yankee Stadium anymore. Shea Stadium, home of the loser Mets. Is Philip Beiderbecke in here? He's a Mets fan, right? I almost put that in the title. Home of the loser Mets. And the Jets. The loser Jets and the loser Mets. um, do they still have Shea Stadium? I don't think they do. Okay. So I'm looking for one because the stadium collectors do want, like it's not this way with everything. Like some postcards, like a postcard of a street view in Athens, Georgia. You might have two very similar postcards of Broad Street, and one is just slightly different. One maybe has a car, and the other one doesn't, or something. Collectors might not value those differently, but I know for stadium postcards, people value little differences like that, and they want to collect all the versions of the stadium postcards. So for these, I do look for small differences. For others, I don't. This is my card up for $10 plus 7 shipping. Got 2 watchers, 7 shipping. So maybe I'll go about 10. That's the only one I've seen so far on my card, though. All the other ones are mere imposters. That's also mine up for 10. Also mine up for 17. Up for 17. So yeah, I'm just going to go 10. I've seen enough. Brad said, would postal cancellation marks on the front of a card deter you from selling it? I have a couple with this. It depends. If the card is like borderline, I don't know if I'd sell it anyway. It would probably deter me. Like I have a card I found in this collection that I would have listed if it was in better shape, but it was just in such poor condition that I chose not to. But it was the card that I found was a early motel or hotel in Miami, or in the outskirts of Miami, and it wasn't one I had seen before, and it looked pretty neat, but it was in really, really rough shape, so I decided not to list that one. I'd do the same if it was on the borderline and it had like a heavy cancellation across the front. But if it was like a pretty good card and it was in good condition otherwise, I'd probably still list it. Okay, so I don't see this exact lighthouse. I don't want to look at this damn lighthouse all day, so one more page of this and I'm just going to go to product research. All these are different though, and not as early as mine. Barnegat Lighthouse. These are European cards. Maybe that was more common with them. I don't list a lot of European cards in general, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask about those. Okay, this one sold for as much as $22.20. $17.99. There we go. So I'm just gonna do $19.95, and maybe I'll take slightly less. But yeah, I would say if you'd list it, if it's in good condition otherwise, and you would normally list it if it weren't for the postmark, I would just go ahead and list it. Although the postmark doesn't really, I don't consider that as much damage as like heavy creases and the like. It definitely detracts a little bit, but it's just not on the same level to me. Unless it's covering up something really important. If it's different too. Like if it's in the sky and there's nothing, there would have been nothing behind the postmark anyway. I don't think that matters as much. Okay, this is a cyclone coaster at Coney Island. One's up for 11 with some tape damage. 15, 21. Okay, so maybe around 15-ish. Probably will list it just for less. Yeah, you can maybe knock off $1 or $2. Yeah, look, right at 15. Lupoplane, Coney Island, New York. And I figured these were a little bit more common when I went to list them, or when I pulled them to list, but they're just really good cards. I like cards like this. Like this one. I thought this one might be a little bit less common, but like this one I was pretty sure was more common, but I just think they're cool, so sometimes I'll choose to list cards like that anyway, even though I know they probably won't sell for that much. Like, I'm going to price this one at $5.95, and I might get it, but Might sell it for less too. But I like selling cool cards. This one too. Probably is more common. Also Coney Island. And then the next one I have is the Ferris wheel of Coney Island, which I'm pretty sure I've listed fairly recently. Parachute jump. Oh, it didn't have night. That carnival ride looks really dangerous. Yeah, I'm sure they had so many dangerous rides at amusement parks back then. Can you imagine? Because there was not really any regulation. And when people died, it wasn't like anybody would come shut you down. They would just have... Word of mouth was really all you had to worry about. And people would say, hey, somebody died at Coney Island yesterday. And they had a lot of things to worry about back then. Like, people were dying of the flu. People were dying on boats all the time. People were dying in the factories. So I think, yeah, amusement parks were a lot more dangerous back in the day for sure. I see this one for around 10. Not regulated like they are today. Yeah, it's sold for around that. I'll just do $9.95. And this Wonder Wheel, again, I think I listed it fairly recently. I don't know if it's sold or not. But it's one where I think it's a really, really cool card, and I will list it because of that, but I also think it's fairly common. I just think it's a cool card to have in my store. Yeah, one up for 10 at bid. These are newer ones. Or ones that are not the exact same as mine. Mine's a closer up view. You can see like the amusement or the entrance kiosk, which I think is pretty neat. So actually not seeing this card. That's this card though, $26.99. No watchers. That's my card. Or no, it's a little bit different. The view's from a different angle, $9.97. But it's a close-up view. $20, that's my card. So my card I've seen for 20 and 26 so far, but none others. Maybe I'll do $14.95 depending on sold comps. I'm surprised. I thought this one was going to be less. Okay. Yeah, this night one, that makes sense that has sold for the most. Or almost the most. Okay. Yeah, 16. It's right on the money. $14.95. And this one, whoops. This one could be, I already had one large letter that I listed earlier that was fairly uncommon. Here, I'll just go to it. I have a few other large letters that could be a little bit less common. I don't know large letters crazy well. But I don't think I couldn't remember having seen this one before. This is the one I listed, or it's not listed yet, but this is the one I priced earlier. And it went for, or I priced it at $20. I think I could get around that. I didn't notice that. The person drew a stick figure writing the large letter greetings. That makes it more unique, I guess. But this one, large letter greetings from Dare County Beaches. This one could be more common. Again, I don't know them like the back of my hand, but I know the ones I've seen a lot and the ones I haven't. Okay, so there's two listed. So it does look like this one is not super common, but also not super valuable. Yeah, 2 up, around $8 maybe. But I have a few more large letter before the end of the day, and maybe one of them will be the jackpot. I'll do $7.95 on this one. And this is a tornado. My other tornado I mentioned earlier. Tonkawa, Oklahoma. And this is an actual picture of the tornado, so that's neat. Brad said, I wonder what was the smallest town with a large letter greeting card. Did every place have them? Let me show you this one before I price the tornado one. We'll get to it later, but just while you mentioned it. when I was comping a large letter card the other day, I saw one like this, where the large letter part was just the state, but the town, and I think this is what they did for smaller towns. Some small towns would have actual large letters, but for a lot of small towns they did this. And to my surprise, the one I saw when I was comping was just like this, and it sold for around $200. And I didn't know that collectors of large letter would want these generic state large letters with a small town added on, not as large letters. So that was really interesting to find, and we'll see when I get to that one what it could go for. I think maybe it could go for a decent bit. Maybe it's more common. I really don't know. I think there's a chance it could be less common. But that was something I was not expecting. Like, I knew large letters of small towns did good, but I didn't think the generic ones, or not generic, but you know what I mean. Like, the more common state ones with a small town just added on would do so well, or could do so well. I'm sure not all of them do that well. Not finding anything for this tornado one yet. Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Yeah, somebody wrote in 1914, so I trust what they wrote. If somebody messaged me and was like, how do you know this is Tonkawa, Oklahoma? They're like, I don't know. It's Tonkawa, Oklahoma. I trust the person who originally wrote that back in 1914, though. And Oklahoma had a lot of tornadoes. Also, I'd probably say, I mean, Tonkawa looks like it's an alright seller, but if I'm going to make something up for a postcard, I would make up a better selling town. Oklahoma tornadoes. What do we got? Okay. I mean, mine is a view of the actual tornado, which I think is pretty neat. Maybe I'll just search. It has the funnel cloud too, which I added into my title, but I don't know if sellers normally add that. That's just tornado damage. See, it's much more common to find postcards of tornado damage. It's harder to find these. Cyclone. One went for, maybe I'll put Cyclone in there. I have room, I think. $85, $83, $80. So yeah, a lot of these are going for around $80. And I don't think they're selling for around $80 because of the town either. So I'm just going to put $80 on this. Yeah, isn't it? I thought it was really cool. I have sold maybe one or two before, but I really don't find... I find tornado damage ones so much more often than of the actual funnel clouds, which makes sense because obviously it's a lot easier to capture an image of the damage than it is of the actual funnel cloud. But I think the funnel clouds, you know, can go for around $80 based on what I just saw. This one's a really neat one. Again, I can't remember having seen this one, but it could be more common. Gibson's Court. Yeah, damn, that's a shame because it's a really, really cool card, but looks like it's going to be maybe $7. But it's a gas station. It's on Route 66. Yeah, I mean, I'll try $7.95. I might get that. It's a really cool card. It's just fairly common, it looks like. For Route 66, does the business need to be right on the road or just in the town? Well, sometimes the main road through the town, a lot of times the main road through the town is on Route 66, like Central Avenue, Albuquerque, but so many other of the towns, like Route 66 was their main street, basically, so... A lot of times it may be called a different street name, but it's actually Route 66. But a lot of cards will say one block off of Route 66 or something like that. I don't know if the collectors prefer actually on Route 66. I don't think it makes a huge difference if it's like a block away from Route 66. Because if I'm a collector, like it's still getting those Route 66 vibes. And this one is a lot racist, which I just put racist in my title because I didn't want to write what it actually says on the card, which you can see there on the left. Maybe you can't, but it says that there are no persons of color that live in the town, but it doesn't say persons of color. But I didn't see this card up. I do have one of those too, so that one will be coming up in a minute. But I don't see the one, whoops, didn't mean to click on that. I don't see the one with the racist sentiment. Which, if I was a collector, I would think that would make it a little more interesting. Okay. I have two of these, actually. 1050. Okay, that's mine. Sold for $8.99. Oh, I'll just do $9.95. I'm not trying to, get a ton of money out of it. And then I have one of the other ones, and mine are a little damaged too. But this one's not. Okay, looks like maybe $7.95 on this one. Yeah, one sold for $8.50. $7.95. Hopefully someone comes along and wants all those. Lee said, great info on the large letter. I spent a night in Dumas, Texas in a creepy motel. Don't care to do that again. I imagine small towns like that have a lot of creepy motels. And this one too, I was, so this one, I added something to my title here that I think could maybe help sell it that I would have never thought. But I'm reading a book right now on Indian, it's called Medicine River. It's about Indian schools and Indian boarding schools, Indian orphanages. I'm sure is in the same ballpark, but the book is about how they operated, how the students were mistreated, how they basically took Native American children away from their families to try to assimilate them into white culture. The book's very fascinating, but it mentions several researchers, and I think it mentions postcards. Postcards aren't a big part of the book, but I'm sure the researchers of the book have at least used postcards in their research. But there were researchers of particular denominational missions, schools, or orphanages. Like this one just says Goodland Indian Orphanage, goodness gracious. But on the back it says it's a Presbyterian orphanage, so I added that to the title. And I think maybe that would catch the eye of somebody who's researching Presbyterian orphanages. So yeah, I think this one I could get maybe $20 for. King Hall. This I looked up. I think it was a fraternity house at one point and also a women's dorm. Vintage 649 said there's a book on large letter postcards that Popeye has recommended. I haven't picked it up. Yeah, I have that one, and it does say one of these sold for $30 a couple years ago. It does have a list of like the really uncommon ones, but for me, it's just been easier to know which ones I've seen a lot. And I mean, the smaller the town, the bigger the chance. But I list most large letters I come across, even if they're only going to sell for $3 or $4, because I just think they're really cool. Let's see. No results for University. Maybe I'll just do 20 on this one. Even though it last sold for 30, I don't like, because my shipping is $6 now. And that would be 36 with shipping. University of Oklahoma, last 3 years though. Those are all real photos. Okay, I think $20 is a fine price. Could I squeeze a little bit more out of it? Probably, but with my shipping having to be Ground Advantage, maybe not. This one on Lincoln Highway I can't remember having seen, but again, I'm not an expert on Lincoln Highway, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one is more common. Whoops. Okay, there's one, but from a different angle. Goodness gracious. That's just making sure I don't have a bunch of irrelevant results here, junking up my search. Okay. Haven't seen my exact card yet. I see some later ones and some cards from a different angle, but not this one, which is from around the 20s. That's a nice real photo. Okay, I don't see mine listed, but I mean, it's probably not going to sell for crazy money. Okay. I'm going to try to find... Yeah, all of these are real photos. That's a nice card, though. I mean, I might be able to get around 20. I just don't see mine listed at all. I'll look again. Like, that's an early one. That's really one of the only other earlier ones that I see. The rest are linen and later. I might just do around 15 bucks. Yeah, I guess I'll do around 15. And I don't see a printed card of it until right here for $12.95, so. Now there's an early one. There's my card. It sold for $12 at auction, so $14.95. Might be able to get that. This was a cool chrome one. Drive-in restaurant here. Sandoz Disselfink, which my spell check had a stroke trying to comprehend. Okay, so one up for 12, 6, and 3. I'll probably do $5.95 on that. This is a cool one of a Hook and Ladder Company, Oil City, PA. Okay. I'll just search Hook and Ladder, Oil City, PA. You don't like that. Okay, one sold, real photo sold for 32. My card sold for 15 in 2019. Probably gonna do 20. Let's try Fire Wagon. 10 bucks. I think 20 bucks is a fair price for this card. That's a really cool one with the billboard there. That's really, really neat. Okay. Yeah, just 20 bucks. This is a small Pennsylvania town. Which if I knew the town better, or if I knew the state better, I would know if this is a good selling town or not, but I don't. Business Center. One up for 28. No watchers. And those are all reprints. Alright. Got my work cut out for me on this one. Okay, well this card is sold for 2, 4, and 6. But there are none currently listed, I think. Search again, make sure not missing anything. Yeah, none currently listed, but sold for 2, 4, and 6 at fixed price. So that's great. Could they have gotten more if they would have priced it higher? I'm going to try to find out. I'm thinking $14.95. But I don't know. We'll see. This is an old mansion in Warwick, Rhode Island. It's a real photo from 1910. I couldn't find a match when I reverse image searched it, but pretty sure it's Warwick since they talk about the house in their message. 1479 for that house. Might just try $20 again. Pool hall, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna do $19.95. Whoops. Okay. Okay, somebody sold a rotograph. Oh, that's the state hospital. Why is this coming up when I search for art? I'm just going to search building Ohio State and RPPC, see what I find. And this isn't going to be crazy valuable, but yeah, maybe I can get $20 out of it. 23 for this, so maybe I can get 20 for mine. This is another inappropriate card. I did type what was on the card, but I also put little people. I don't know. It's from a Fair in Amarillo. Maybe I'll just search that. Okay, went up for 25. No watchers. That's my same card though, so good to have a comp. I'm thinking 20. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, one sign sold for 35, but yeah. 20, 18, and 9. So $20 seems like a good price. This is a Klein card as well. I have another Klein, or maybe a couple more Klein real photos coming up too. Okay. Yeah, looks like about $8 to $10, maybe. Is one of them in blackface? I don't think so. I think it's just a black child. I think the exposure is just a little off on this. But the tell here is you can see all the other kids' hands, and you should be able to see his hands, but you can't. So I think just something's off with the exposure. But I think that's just a kid that's black. I don't think it's a white child in blackface. But I did have that thought at first too. And if I thought it was, I wouldn't have listed it. Little people. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I hope there's no little people watching this. They're not children. They're little people. I am so sorry. That is a consequence of doing multiple things at once and paying half attention. I am very sorry, though. I'm sure that is like the most offensive thing you can say to little people. But no, I think one of the little people is black, I think. Okay. This observatory, I don't see any sold of my view, but a couple similar sold for 11 and 10. And one is listed for 20. So I'm thinking maybe 14.95. Okay, the next large letter I think is fairly common, but I wasn't 100% sure, so that's why I'm listing it. But I have bigger hopes for the Dumas, Texas large letter. Yeah. I'm not surprised. This one appears to be more common. Probably do what, 3.95? Yeah. This one I thought was funny. This is Mother-in-Law's Day in Amarillo, Texas. The nationwide celebration was organized by Gene Howe to appease his mother-in-law for something he said about her in his daily column in the Amarillo Globe News. So this guy wrote something, he trashed his mother-in-law in the paper, and then to make up for it, he created Mother-in-Law's Day, which I don't know if that's still celebrated, in Amarillo, Texas. Maybe it was one day only, but I thought it was funny. And I've never seen a postcard for Mother-in-Law's Day before, have you? Anyway, not finding any. Okay, one sold for 10 in 2017. Amarillo, Texas is not a great seller from what I remember, but maybe I can get 20 bucks out of this. Wow, somebody sold this for $275. Wow, that's crazy. 2023. This is a cool one. 81 for that Chrome card. I'm guessing these sold for that much because they're Route 66, but I don't know for sure. Probably Route 60. Yeah, Route 66. You know what? I'm going to try and get 40 bucks for this one. And not seeing a lot of Amarillo, Texas that would have gone for that much, but I have faith. This is the Blackburn Brothers store in Amarillo. Clothing and hats for boys and men. Okay, one's up for $14.99. Okay, $12.99 and 16. I'm just gonna go $14.95. This one I thought was cool, of the florist. Sorry, let me turn my air on. It is getting toasty in here. Why does it automatically changes from Celsius to Fahrenheit sometimes, and it's really annoying. And I can't change it back without getting up and going over there. This one I might try to get. Okay. Yeah, 20 bucks. Yeah, that's why you don't start your cards at low priced auction. $3 when this one sold for 24. And this is a Route 66 one in Amarillo. Longchamp. Oh god, too far. Okay, this one's more common. Just gonna slap $5.95 on it and call it a day. Oh my god, went all the way back to the beginning. This one is not Route 66. Mexican Inn and Cafe. One up for $8.74 and one up for $6.99. Do $7.95. Nancy said eBay has a postcard category under Black Americana. There are African Americans, I think you meant, who collect in this category. I have more reading research to do. Yeah, I just don't anymore because eBay, I had this card that I listed that was a hand-drawn postcard by a Black American of themselves, and I just thought I didn't think anything was offensive about it at all, but eBay took my card down and told me not to list it anymore, not to list it again because it was offensive. So I'm not listing anymore that could even be remotely considered offensive, but that really bothered me that got taken down because that it was a hand-drawn postcard by a Black person of themselves, and it was clearly not offensive, but somebody with nothing better to do reported it and got it taken down. Okay, so this card could be decent. It's on Route 66, it looks like. I think Polk Street was Route 66. But sold for $45. Was listed at $85 and sold for $45. So I'm just going to put Route 66. Whoops. Route 66, and I'm going to go $39.95. This next card, I doubt I'm going to find any comps on at all, but hopefully I can find something from the town of Athens, Texas. Maybe not. It is an RPPC. It's from around the 50s or so. It's a Christian church retreat. Oh wow, the same card is up. Camp Undy, Athens, Texas. Camp Undy. So yeah, maybe $10. $10. I did not think there would be another one of those up, but okay. I'm just gonna do $9.95. It's not that great of a card. Queen Motel, Atlanta. So listing a couple cards from Athens and Atlanta, Texas. Okay, this one again. I was hoping for more, but not surprised. It's more common. I think maybe, I guess $4.95-ish. Whoops. Oh yeah, $4.95. Gaze Cafe in Childress, Texas. Lee said, do they let you know that someone reported it, or could it have been flagged by AI and maybe it could be challenged? They did say in the email that it was taken down because it was reported by a user. That's the language that they used. They said because it was reported by a user, it was reviewed by eBay and taken down. The AI did not flag it. It was up for a decent while, and I had a good number of watchers on it. I want to say there were 5 or 6 watchers. I did price it pretty high at, I think, around $200, but I'd never seen anything like it before, and it was, I mean, one of a kind. So I think I maybe could have gotten 1 to 150 for it eventually, but we'll never know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's really, and I called eBay. I said it was offensive that they took it down. I said, what is offensive about a black person? I think it's offensive that you think this is offensive. Because like if you have a picture up of just like a white person that drew a picture of themselves, and you're like, oh, this is offensive because the white person has no style and they can't jump, and I don't know, they look like I don't know. I just completely disagree with their decision to take it down because I go out of my way to not list anything that shows exaggerated features and that could come across. I know what the offensive stereotype postcards look like, and I would never list one of those. And this was completely different. It just really bothered me that it got taken down. Um, but yeah, I actually fought that one because I knew I was in the right, or I knew I should have been in the right, and I appealed it, and eBay said, nope, we were right. It's offensive. It's gone forever. Don't try to list it again. Texas A. This is. I think I'm gonna try to get $20 out of this one. Kyle Field, Texas A&M. There's a stadium postcard. Football. Can I need to squeeze stadium in here somewhere. There we go. And yeah, that, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to sell it on a Facebook group eventually. I'm sure it would have a lot of interest because it's really, really cool, I think. Because it's just something you don't see very often. I'm thinking $20 for this one. I don't really see much evidence. I mean, that one went for 41, but that's in 2013. I don't see any evidence that I could really get a lot more out of this. Or really any evidence that I could even get 20, but that's what I'm shooting for. Bill Noy said, I had a homemade folk art doll with dark black skin, probably made by and for a black child, and it was taken down as offensive. Yeah, that's... I agree that there are items that are definitely offensive and that should probably not be sold on eBay. And I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the line does not seem to be drawn. It seems to be, I mean, it depends too, because I'm sure you could find really offensive stuff listed on eBay right now that hasn't been taken down, but there's also stuff that shouldn't be considered offensive at all that is taken down, and I don't think that should be taken down, because they're reaching a point where it's almost like the eBay is considering black people offensive, like as a group, which is, I don't think, and I told eBay that when I talked to them. I said, it sounds like to me like your policy is considering that just depictions of black people are offensive, and that sounds like a racist policy to have. And I know they're supposedly trying to just take out offensive stuff. But I think I don't know, they've clearly gone too far with some things. And I think they need a lot better moderation. They need to train, at the very least, they need to train their employees a lot better of what's actually offensive. Because the person I talked to, I don't know if a person in the U.S. actually made the decision, but the person I talked to was not based in the U.S., and I don't think they would really have any idea of what stereotypes are considered offensive in the U.S. So what do they know if they're the ones making the decision? Like, they're going to think maybe, hey, this shows a black person, so we should take it down, when in reality, like, as an American, like, that is not, like, it'd be easy to tell as an American that that's not considered an offensive stereotype. Damn, this one is going to be more common, it looks like. Yeah, went up for $7.99. That's unfortunate. So they just need better moderation on those, because they're taking down ones they shouldn't. I'm sure they're leaving ones up that they should take down. And it's really frustrating. I can only imagine it's frustrating as yeah, this card is fairly common, it looks like. I'm going to try to get $10. I don't know if I'll get it or not, but that card has not sold for much, unfortunately, for me. It's unfortunate for collectors of stuff, too, because, like, I don't know. eBay can do as eBay wants, I guess. And they do. Okay, so this one sold for $15.99 last year. Should I try to get 20? Should I be happy with 15? Nothing currently up. I'm going to try to get 20. Golden pheasant. Yeah, I'll try to get 20. Because they don't do that for other racial groups. But imagine if they did. Imagine if eBay said, like, imagine how frustrating it would be buying postcards on eBay if the roles were reversed and eBay said, hey, any postcard really depicting a white person, that's probably going to be racist. So that would be so frustrating if you're a postcard collector. Okay. I don't see this thing anywhere. Okay. I don't know how many collectors there are of this exposition, but hopefully, I mean, it's a crossover, right? It's got Texaco and the Expo, so maybe one of them will want this card. Okay, wow, 46. That's a cool one, though. 44, all right. All right, 39. I'm going to try to get 40 bucks for this card. I don't see the Texaco Tower anywhere. Texaco. Okay, so it's in these images, but this is a cool one, so I'm going to try to get 40 out of it. And then I have a cafe. I have a couple. Oh, just one more from this exposition. And I'll be wrapping up here shortly. Thank you all for sticking with me. Hopefully this video is helpful and gives you an idea of how I price cards. I've done a few of these where I just kind of live price postcards. And I showed, if you just now started watching, somebody asked me how I created the listings, and I showed that. So if you're wondering how I created these from photos, you can go back and watch that too. Is this one going to be uncommon too? That's great. Century Cafe sold for $6, fixed price this year, but none are currently listed. Okay, hopefully we have some more comps. Okay. Okay, that's a cool large letter. I wish I had that large letter. 75 in 2013, 81 in 2013, 60 in 2014. Okay, so what am I going to price this one at? It's a cool one of a cafe, but there aren't really any comps. The only one I could find sold for like $6 at fixed price. Should I try to get 40 out of this one too, or less? Wow, the large letter's really fallen off. That one sold for $26 at auction last year. And in 2013, it was selling for $80. I don't really see a lot saying I could get more than 20 bucks for this card, so I'm just going to do 19.95. The RPPC, though, I think I could get 40. Nancy said you do not use AI for anything. Not really. I'm trying to think. I'll use it for to do research for some stuff. Like if there's a postmark that's kind of half gone, I'll say, hey, do you know a town? And I'm looking for a town in West Virginia that is around 8 to 10 letters long and starts with Hawk or whatever. I don't know. I'll use it for stuff like that, but I rarely use AI. I'm not a big fan of AI in general. I'm a skeptic. I don't think it's that smart. And I don't think there's anything it could do that I can't do better. Like title. I know it can title postcards. I don't think it can title cards better than I can. I definitely don't think it can price cards better than I can. And if there was like programs that could do that as well as I could, I would use it, and I've tried it out. It just has not gone very well. This one looks to be a bit more common, and mine is damaged a little bit in the top left corner. But all the ones I see are priced fairly high, at least the ones that look like mine. Like we got one at 18, one at 20, one at 10. So Another one at 17. I'm thinking maybe 7, 8-ish. 7.95. Okay, it has sold for as much as 23 though, but oh, that was even 2 weeks ago. Okay. I'm just gonna do 7.95. Mine is damaged. I thought this one was neat too. It's the Alabama Catering Service in Houston, Texas. Nancy said, "Thank you, enlightening to watch how you price postcards. I will watch again." I do have a few other of these too if you haven't ever watched it before. If you go to lives, I did one in I think January that is just like this, but with 100 postcards. Okay, this one, there's one up for 17. And a couple signs. So yeah, there's other, this image is out there, but there's only one postcard listed for 17, so maybe I'll do 20. I'll see what they sold for though. Maybe $14.95. Yeah, the last two have both sold for $6.99. I think they could have gotten more, but I don't know if they could have gotten 20 because that one is currently up for $17. So, and it doesn't have any biters. I'm gonna go $14.95. I don't think I'm really leaving much on the table, if anything. The next two or three. The next three are Kleins. Maybe we'll have a decent one in here. This is a Blue Bonnet Hotel, and this one does say Klein on the back, but like the person who asked earlier, I can tell by the font or the style of handwriting and the numbering system, but it says, it's kind of faded, but it says right there, W.M. Klein. And let me just narrow this down to RPPC. Yeah, I've used an AI title tool before. It just didn't impress me, and I didn't think the titles were better than what I would write. I thought they were worse than titles I would write, and it didn't really save me that much time anyway, because titles take me about less than half the time as pricing my cards. I'm gonna try to get 20 bucks out of this one. I don't know if I'll get it. And I don't know if they meant to say Shriner without a C in this next one, but they spelled it weird, so I don't know if that's spelled incorrectly. Shriner. I would think it's without a C, but what do I know? And everybody does things differently too, so you don't have to, you can take what I do and modify it to how you think it should be, because I price cards probably, I mean, some cards I do price maybe too high, but I'd like to think that I price my cards pretty low to sell quickly. At least that's the idea. So you could totally price them higher and that would be valid, or maybe you want them to sell even quicker and you could price them lower. Okay, this one, I'll try to get 20 out of I'll try to get 20 out of that one. I don't know. I don't have to be too exact. Like with these prices, I try to be as accurate as possible, but in the back of my mind, I know that my cards go on sale for up to 50% off after they've been up for a year. So when I price that one at 20 bucks, I'm thinking I could get at least $10 for this one. So that's kind of the thought process. Like, it doesn't really hurt me if it's up for $20 for a couple months before it goes 25% off, and then for a few more months before it goes 50% off. And it's always better to price a little bit too high than price too low. This one I think is going to be about 10. I'll see if it's sold. Okay, one is sold for $2. Okay, and this one, last one of the day, Fred Stuckey home in Longview, Texas. A lot of nice cards today. It's always good to list some nice cards. Okay, there are color postcards of this, but not a black and white. But it doesn't look like there's a ton of demand for the color postcard. Okay, there is one listed that eBay is not showing me, which is really annoying. So this card should come up. Like, why is eBay not showing me this? This is, and I can even view it on eBay. Okay. Oh, I guess it's not showing it to me because I can't. Well, I can buy it. It says add to cart. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing me that in search. Maybe it's because the seller's away. Maybe the seller did something to get in eBay's bad graces. But theirs is up for 15. One is sold for 8. I'm just gonna do $9.95. Even though that's a little bit higher than the printed cards, maybe someone will want it for $10. Yeah, I'll show you after this. We'll see. I always like to look at how much I listed in dollar value per day. Usually gives me a pretty good idea of what my sales are going to be for the next day. Like if I list $3,000 of cards in 100 postcards, I'm probably going to have a pretty good day the next day. If I only listed $500, $700, it's probably going to be a pretty not great day. Just go to active here. Brad said, but you also price cards with the expectation of discounting them after a certain time, correct? Yeah, I know. I try to price them at what I think they could reasonably sell at, but I also know I'm not too worried if I overprice a card by $5 or $10 because it'll be going on sale anyway. So if the price is too high, just wait a little bit. And I'll go to promote because they should all need promoting. They usually take a little bit to show up. I just sent offers this morning. That's why I only have 32 to send. Usually I have like 100 offers a day to send. Depends on if I'm listing any. If I'm listing, it's usually more. If I'm not, it's usually less. But I'm going to try to wait until these show up here, and then I'll get off. And I can unshare some of these screens I have. Let's see. I'll just get rid of that one. And there we go. Sorry for all the screens. Oops. And I do delete all the posts. That's what I'm doing right now, deleting all the postcard images. I do delete them immediately after I list them. I don't have anything I would be keeping them for. I know some sellers keep all the images of scans of cards, and that seems a little bit excessive. Also, I don't have the storage for that, but I mean, I don't see any reason to keep them. The only scans I keep are of cards in my personal collection. Okay, let's go check to see if those cards are in eBay now. And see how much they're... I'm going to guess $1,500. There were some good cards, but it wasn't a great day. I've had better days. So we've got 63 for 1,000. I think my 1,500 estimate's going to be pretty close. I'll wait until these roll in. It usually only takes a minute or two, but thank you everyone for watching me. I know this was quite a long video. If you're watching it back afterwards, enjoy, I guess. Oh, I sold a postcard while I was listing. That's always good. I don't know why. It used to be instant that these listings would get put in listings that needed to be promoted. But it takes... Okay, there we go. $1,411 I listed today. That's pretty good. I'd say 1,000 is average for me. Less than 1,000, things are not going great. More than 1,000, things are going pretty good. More than 2,000 means I've got it. Oh, this is... Wait, why does it say quantity 96? It says 1 to 100, but quantity 96. I don't know why that's going on, but... yeah, I've had some days where I listed 100 cards, and there we go. 1451. So, pretty close. Pretty close. I was pricing them, so I should have been pretty close, but... Yeah, I've had days where I list $3,000 worth of cards, and it's only 100 cards. I think I've maybe hit $4,000 once when I was listing like mostly our PPCs, and you just know it's going to be a really good day the next day when you list that many good cards. So 1451, that's a fairly good day. I'm hoping things pick up a little bit today. But that'll be it for me. And last week, if you watched the end of the stream, I forgot how to stop my stream, which is dumb. I realized right after I ended it in YouTube that so in the streaming software I'm using, there's a button called auto stop, and right next to it is a button called stop streaming, and the auto stop button was grayed out. It's still grayed out actually, but the stop streaming is the one that I should have hit to end the stream last week, and I just felt really dumb after I ended it last week. But anyway, I know where the button is this week, so there will be no delay. See you all next week. The week after that, I will be at the beach, so I don't know. Not going to be streaming at least, but maybe I'll try to pre-record a video and put it up or something. I don't know, but hope you all have a good one and a good week in sales. It was fun as always. See you next week. Bye.